And there we go. Welcome back to Icewind Dale, everybody. Last time we got back to the town of Goodmead, having defeated... Hey, evening, Mansuret. Thanks for the follow. Quick slip there, sorry. We got back to the town of Goodmead, having dealt with the cold-hearted killer and receiving our reward for that. And you came back to the town in some state of panic and disarray as you found out that the town speaker had been killed by a marauding Verbeeg, a giant kin that had attacked from out of the mountains nearby, coming into the town, stealing some of the mead that the town needs to survive and for its economy, and running back off to its lair with these 3 barrels of Goodmead's lifeblood. You did not give immediate chase, as the town militia, in the able hands of one of the trappers, had gone off to try and deal with the problem, and you took a much-needed long rest after your trials against this murderer that you had attacked up in the mountains. Now, in the morning, those militia and that trapper had not returned, and you, fearing the worst, headed off towards the forest, only to be accosted by another trapper running in a panic state out of the forest with a poor fox in a cage rattling around on his back, which you'd seen the night before and had mysterious markings not dissimilar to our missing fighter, who's only missing in person tonight. Garo is with us, in spirit, if not in body. And you saved the fox by purchasing it from this trapper, and saved it from being skinned and the pelt being sold, because it was a very interesting design. But as you went into the forest, you lost track of the fox again, because the little creature that you'd seen riding on its back, what Mame, our Gallus friend here, recognized as a chewinga, mostly thought to only exist down in the tropical climes of Chult, but also seemingly having a winter version. You released the fox as it jumped out of your arms, ran over to this chewinga little buddy of its friend here, and Garo received some sort of blessing from the chewinga as they galloped off into the trees. Now, following the tracks that the trapper had left, you came across the grisly sight of the militia. Their chests caved in, terrible wounds, and none of them left alive. But no sign of the trapper that had been with them. Following hefty-looking giant-kin tracks that Mame found and was easy to follow through the trees, you found yourselves going along a frozen river. And that frozen river came up to a hillside with 3 distinct cave entrances into it. Entering the first one, where firelight was emanating from within, you heard movements and found penned-in animals, seemingly being looked after by the giant kin, a herd of sheep and goats, and you quickly found that indeed the giant kin was looking after and was in fact very fond of all these animals, all of which he had named, and was coddling like a doting mother over his little babies, his little fluffy babies. I'm not sure if you were scared by the size of the giant or just, grossed out by the chitsy scene of him being all doting over his little baby pets, but you quickly retreated and tried another entrance, which Mame was happy to see, because there were the remains of ancient tribal burial niches and old stone daggers, and then entering further in, you found a chieftain's sarcophagus Hey Shazin, thanks for the follow. And you, Mame, were investigating the crude pictographs on the walls of this ancient chamber, and they seemed to show a tribe's journey across the mountains of the spine of the world into Icewind Dale, where they settled, fought back the many beasts and monsters that would challenge their existence, and then settled down to be happy living here. Now, at the same time, Talm, with his advanced vision in his frost-forged form, warned everyone to be quiet, as both to the east and to the west there were slumbering enemies. To the west, a large cave bear, and to the east, a slumbering ogre. But also to the east, barrels. Barrels bearing the mark of Goodmaid, the stolen barrels that you have been sent to retrieve. So it is with us in this ancient chieftain's burial chamber, enemies all around, we find ourselves back in Icewind Dale. Now, let's bring this down here. You need to make a decision, but before you do, Mame, despite Talm's warning, gives a slight... I don't know if I should put these words, the sound in your mouth, Mame, but she gives a slight of surprise in her gallus form. As Mame, suspicions that you'd had looking at these pictographs, you couldn't help but notice similarities to pictographs you had studied for quite some time during your spell in the mountains, recuperating and then choosing to stay as you were researching the ruins that you found there, again of an ancient tribe's settlement. And you had suspicions that this tribe could have been the same one, having come across the mountains, lived for a while where you were, before moving on to Icewind Dale proper, as the tale tells in this chamber. Now, your suspicions are confirmed when you turn round and let out that small sound, because on the side of the sarcophagus, the chieftain's burial chamber sarcophagus, you see pictographs that confirm the connections with the cave where you spent so much time. Those pictographs that you saw in that same cave of a burning, what seemed to be a meteorite, something giant in flames, but slightly more geometric in shape and pattern than, what we as players know a meteorite to be. This large burning form crashing through the sky. There was this huge event that was put on record in these pictographs by this tribe. And as you come down and you look on this sarcophagus and you see the pictographs of this tribe settling in Icewind Dale, again, you see that same hurtling, flaming, slightly geometric shaped item, like object coming through to it and falling to the earth. But in other pictographs, which were not in your old cave abode, you see that same shape, that same object on the ground with crude images of tribespeople of this tribe nearby. It seems whatever it was that they saw burning through the sky, they later went on to discover on the ground. Now, I'll let you sit with that for a moment. What would you like to do as I bring you over to the cave of the Verbeeg?
We have to get those barrels.
Agreed, but how are we supposed to get in there and get them without waking up everything in this cave?
Okay, we have two options, okay? Number one, you two go in and get the barrels. Number two, we just kill him.
I'm not quite strong myself. I don't think I could lift those barrels. I think that leaves us with two, unless you think you can sneak in.
Barrels are round, so you can, you can push them.
Sorry, I'm listening. I'm listening. I'm just enjoying myself in chat because I've got a custom emote. One of the perks of getting affiliates. Sorry, focus.
Are you listening to this? What are you doing over there?
Oh my. Saying this back then. Seeing this back in the cave. I can't believe this is...
Okay, so I can't lift a barrel and Mame's crazy. So we're gonna need to find an alternative option here.
Alright, I guess we're gonna have to kill the ogre.
I think that's probably the best way to do it. We could sneak up on him and get the drop on him.
I can't sneak for shit, so...
Well, all you need is eyesight. All you need is to be within spell slinging distance.
Well,
right?
I'm already that close.
Good. Now, Gato, can you sneak?
I believe that Gato is wearing chainmail, if I remember correctly.
Is somebody control?
I ain't so quiet either. That's my app impression.
Sorry. Good job. I felt like I was there, or I felt like she was here with me.
I was confused by the sudden change of accent. One of our players is missing. This is my best shot.
All right. Well,
I can put on the southern accent. We can make it work.
Yeah.
How about I'll get up close enough to put a knife in his neck, and you all release a volley as I do.
I mean, it's the best plan I got.
Garo says, look, I spent a long time with the Flaming Fist. I don't think we should be attacking anything so huge as that.
Well, do you have any alternative plan, Gato? I'm all ears.
You're the sneaky one, ain't you?
This is the best I can do in terms of a sneaky plan. Unless you think you can take off your chainmail and go in there and help us sneak those barrels out, I don't see much of a way. How about we oil up home?
Well, I find it's all about the chain of command. Who do you think's in charge around here? It ain't the bear.
What do you mean? This isn't about a chain of command. This is about a creature in there which will likely kill us if it wakes up.
That's what I'm saying. If we can take control of the chain of command, I think the Verbeeg's in charge, right? It's his lair, it's his neck of the woods. If we
want to barter with him?
If we could be in charge of the Verbeeg, he can stop the ogre.
I mean, yeah, that could work. How do you intend we do that? How do any of us intend to do that? I mean, he keeps livestock. We could trade him a fine chicken, and then the chicken could escape.
You motherfucker. You motherfucker, you.
Okay, scrap that idea.
I thought it had potential.
As you can see, he likes furry stuff. I'm very feathery, so it might not work. He might just eat me.
We could, I don't know, blackmail him with the goats? That's all I got.
You want to take a goat hostage?
That'd be
I'm
easier
not,
than taking that ogre hostage.
I'm not saying don't take a goat hostage.
The ogre kind of shifts in its sleep.
Me, friend.
You know, I could see it working. I could also see it going horribly wrong. But why don't we give it a shot?
It's D&D, folks.
I can
At
I
any
can
given
sneak in,
moment.
get a knife around a goat's throat, and we can play it from there.
And Talon keeps his permanent smile. Sounds
Colin,
good.
you're going in with me. You're not sitting out on this one. You're gonna be in with me.
I'll go in. I can't sneak.
All right. Well, we don't have to where we're going.
Well,
Alright,
I am the
give it a
smallest
shot.
of us. I could really sneak into the pen. Wrap
Alright.
me in my cloth and roll me over.
How about you just sneak with us?
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so you and I can sneak into the pen, right? We get a couple sheep hostage. And Tol, you use your superb bartering and negotiation and social skills to get us leverage. With that
I'm well
routine.
known for my social skills.
You are now. This is a pep talk, and it's one that you need. Gato, you just stand there and look intimidating. Maybe take a goat.
Rah.
Does that work?
I have no other
Let's
plans.
do that.
All right, let's
Sounds
get out of
alright
here
to
then.
me. So, you make your way back. Now, one more thing, Mame. You remember also seeing in those pictographs last time there was some hint of a magic wand in possession of the chieftain? Do you remember
Guys,
that?
before we leave, yes, I do. Guys, I'm just like, let me grab my notebook. I have the wrong notebook. But anyway, guys, I believe we should maybe open up this tomb because it might have something valuable that can help us.
Oh, let's check. Talon goes to open the tomb.
Mockingbird puts his hand up and checks for traps first.
Ah, okay. Please give me a perception check.
Oh, thank God.
Hold up, gotta get back to my page. I'm on the Tasha's thing right now. Okay, that's a perception roll. Come on, load. Yoink.
Where'd you go?
Is that going? Oh, what?
Once
There's
you
a
get-
animation. Okay, 15. Did anybody else see that, or was that just me?
No, this is on your screen.
Okay, for some reason it's doing like an animation on the D&D thing now.
If you roll on D&D Beyond, there's a virtual dice. Yes.
Ah, okay, that's my bad. Yeah, it's a 15.
Okay, thank you. That's a good roll. Yeah, you have a thorough scan round, checking the seams and everything, make sure it's all okay, and you do not find any traps.
I'll take my hand off. Go ahead.
Mer-
Okay, let's slowly push it open, and so it doesn't make any noise. And then I push it open.
Just a moment, please.
Okay.
You all heave against the lid of this sarcophagus. It does not budge an inch.
Oh, this is now I'm interested.
Challenge.
If we scan the thing, is there some sort of like keyhole or sort of hinge or latch or something like that? Or?
During your check for traps, you did not find anything like that. No.
This might take a minute. He starts pulling out some small glasses. He just keeps adjusting them. I'm gonna cast Detect Magic as a ritual.
Okay.
It's gonna take 10 minutes for me to do that.
Okay.
And I'll just be looking around at the pictograms again and finding my notebook.
I guess in the meantime, I'm going to slip out and take a peek down this hallway and just make sure that the Furbeak is in there still.
No problem. Yeah, so you slip back into the larger burial chamber, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I see the sheeps from here, and just
Yeah.
gonna.
Yeah, it seems like the Verbeeg is still kind of fussing over them and feeding them, and
Okay.
just taking his time with that process. He enjoys that clearly.
Okay.
Now let's have a look here. I'm just because the problem the detect magic gets me every time. So you have to say what type of magic it is. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, the first one. Yeah, you sense two sources of magic inside when you finish the ritual,
Mm-hmm.
and they are both evocation.
Okay, so they're inside of the tomb.
Yes, they're inside the tomb.
So it seems like the tomb itself is not
Is-
magic.
Is not magical. No, there's two pinpoint sources inside.
So he's spent the last couple of minutes like fussing with his kind of ocular implant, and it flashes pink for just a second. Then he takes a closer look. Looks at Mommy. It seems it's just really heavy.
Indeed.
I guess we could come back to this at another time. But we should come back. I believe there's something very important
Oh,
in here that we should obtain.
There are two things in there.
Two.
Yeah, I don't know what they are, but I can see the magic.
It's worth noting that after our hostage livestock situation, we might not have an opportune time to come back here. We may very well not be on good terms with those who reside in this place.
I mean,
Does anyone
That's
have any
fair.
bombs? No bombs.
bombs.
Why don't we just
Oh,
try
no,
to
I
silently
was
lift
just-
it?
Okay, let's try that again. So, do we roll for strength,
A 2 on each side?
athletics?
I'm
Yeah.
afraid I don't need you to roll. You're not strong enough.
No.
I'm afraid.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, I think that, times like this.
Although, Tom, you do know that the use of tools and things like that.
That
can
was
lessen-
gonna be my recommendation. I was about to finish saying it. In times like this, I find tools are quite effective, and
Mockingbird pulls out a crowbar.
I also pull out my crowbar. I remember I have.
Everyone just came tooled up.
in fact, I also pull out my crowbar.
Hang on. Garrow,
Please,
Garrow,
please.
don't let us down.
Just in
Come on, Garrow.
unison, 4 people with a crowbar.
Come on, girl.
Garrow also has a crowbar.
Yeah!
You're like the freaking Knights of the Round Table. That you
Oh my
crowbars
God.
over the.
Don't worry. I am proficient with Tinker's tools. Had he not had a crowbar, I would just make one.
That would definitely wake someone up.
It'd be worth it.
Okay.
Alright.
Using the crowbars, I will let you make a group strength check.
Oh no.
Oh, God.
That's not that much
Oh
help.
god.
All right, -1. 0.
Indeed. Okay. Noted.
So saving.
Oh, that's a
saving
saving.
throw?
Not a
Or
saving
just-
throw. No, a strength check. Just like the normal, the straight.
Oh, straight up there in the top
Yeah.
It's
row.
it's the same
top
for me.
left. Yeah, the top left one. Let's see.
So I got a 16.
Okay. So that's
Got 12.
16. Was a 12, and Garo got a 17.
Let's see.
And okay.
The wrong button.
That is just enough.
With my impressive 0. My hydraulics broke. You guys handle this.
But it does take quite a lot of effort, and there is quite a lot of scraping and scratching as it comes over and starts to move. But you do see inside. Let's see here, double check. Revealed beneath this heavy stone slab is a shallow niche in the floor that holds the bones of a human skeleton. Just the dust and tatters of clothing just fallen around the bones. But clutched in one hand is a large pearl. And clutched in the other is a wand. As Mame had found out from pictographs.
All right,
It's the wand.
I'll volunteer on this one. And Tolan goes to grab the wand.
Okay. You pull that out.
I guess
Right.
I'll take a
Hold
small
this.
sheet out and grab the pearl as well.
You're gonna grab the pearl. Okay.
Oh,
I'm sure it's just a trick of the winter winds blowing in through the cave mouth and stuff. But as you do, there does seem to be a slight disturbance in the air of the chamber.
these are the. I mean, I know you guys aren't really into magic and stuff, but these are both evocation.
Occasion.
What does that mean?
It means it's probably gonna blow stuff up.
You can
Should-
feel.
I
You
like
can
blowing stuff
feel the both items are almost in a way reaching for you. Now, Mame and Mockingbird, in my games, if an item requires attunement before you know what it does, you kind of feel that kind of attempt at connection with you. Okay, so you realize that these need attunement before you can use them.
All right. Well, we have this. Why don't we get on to the main event before we run out of time? We can
Yeah,
always
I'll-
figure these out later.
I'll
let's
investigate these later, so let's not worry about it.
I'll hand you the sort of rag with the pearl in it.
Now, as you're doing that, it seems that the scraping, scratching of your efforts has woken one of your slumbering neighbors. As to the west, you hear the cave bear starts to shift and react to the interlopers inside the lair.
I'm just gonna motion for everybody to piece the fuck out, as it were.
Well,
So,
I think just to make sure, just check how the movement and everything's going to work here. I think we need some initiative here. So
Okay.
let's grab this just to see how this works. It might not be a combat, but let's see just because I know there's going to be different things that work here.
Getting these ones out of the way early.
So that's 19, 1, 13. Oh, yeah, it's all there. All right.
Alright, so I'm just going to put everyone in there. Not that everyone's awake. just to have them all get around.
How do I put my number in there?
You just click on the 0 and it should make it editable. Okay, how'd you go? It's your Garo's. Garo gets... Okay. Tom. Rocketing out of the gate.
I'm sorry, wait, what?
I think got one, right?
Yeah. That was in character.
Okay, so Mockingbird, you act first. What would you like to do? You're just gonna head straight out to the south again?
Yeah, I'm gonna head straight out to the south and get as far as I can along this hallway. But I'll also, as I'm passing this kind of sliver where I can see inside the Furby's room, I'm just gonna kind of check, maybe listen to see if there's movement from there as well.
I think, yeah, the Verbeeg is definitely, like, he can, yeah, because, like, sound echoes through these caves quite well. So he's definitely, like, looking up, he's like,
What's that? Yoga ball? Yoga ball.
Okay, then hearing that, I'm gonna go the rest of my movement. Actually, let me count this out to make sure.
yeah.
1, 2, 5, and that would be 6. All right, so I'm just looping around to the other side to, cut towards the livestock.
Now, remember, if you're not doing anything else, you can dash, you can move again.
I could, yeah. I'm curious to see if the others will get here in time, but I think because of everything else to do, can I do that and draw my weapons as well, or is that?
Yep.
That's a bonus action.
Yeah, drawing,
okay,
you're drawing
cool.
weapons is fine.
So I will dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Are you going that way towards where the Verbeeg is?
Oh wait, yep, that is the wrong way. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, cool. That's me.
Okay.
I'm just gonna run through his legs.
just slide between the legs. I mean,
Yeah.
it's worked in the past. There are definitely some people that have done that, I'm sure. Okay, Mame, your turn.
Do I still have Tolan's glowing rock with me? Can I activate that?
Absolutely.
I can't see anything right now.
Yes.
Well, I'd assume we'd be running together, so for the most part, right? You'd be
But
able to.
on my map, I can't see anything because you're too far now.
Ah.
There you go. That better?
Cute, I could see.
Let there be lights.
Okay. So I follow.
You saw,
Kieran,
he
did
went.
he go
He went to the west. That's
to the
it.
west? Okay. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where is he?
He went south.
And then I
through those burial
dash.
trees.
And dash.
Okay. Yep.
I think that's all my movement.
Okay.
I really don't know. I don't know where you are.
Okay. Thank you. Now, at that
You hear
point,
me run south.
the Verbeeg starts like, he's like,
Yoga bar. What do you smell? What is it, boy?
and he goes, that's 1, 2, 3, 6, 8. So he comes over to here, and let's look here. Okay, and need to. You see, he's carrying a torch as well. Now, a torch was 10 feet total, right? We found that out, didn't we?
Yes, I believe so. I'll double check.
Oh, I'm scared.
So he's actually come. You can see torchlight flickering. Garrow can see the torchlight flickering, but he's not actually. None of you are actually in the torchlight, so you can't see.
It's 20 bright, 20 dim.
20?
20 bright, 20 dim.
Okay,
Yes,
so
20-foot radius.
Total of 40?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, just double check here. I want to make
Sorry.
sure. Okay, yep, none of you are in sight where he came to. He's not running, he's not dashing, he's just like looking around. He's like, what is it, boy? And you hear a.
No, me friend.
And Tom, you see the ogre wake up as well.
Oh no. Oh no.
Okay, well, he doesn't do anything yet. Now, Garo. Garo has got 30 feet as well, and I think. Let's see here. Yeah, Garo is just gonna run. He's like, boom, boom. So that's, hang on, I get this. I need to get the numbers here. Runs up behind you. Runs up behind you there, Mockingbird. But as you do so, you hear the Verbeeg just yell out.
Ah, who's that? Who's that in my house? What are you doing?
And he seems getting angry as he sees Garrow flip across, just go dashing across the edge of his torchlight. And then the bear, he's like,
Yogabo, friend, come on.
we've got intruders. And Yogabo comes round to here. Hello, mummy. And this bear, you just see this bear come lumbering out of the depths of the darkness. It comes that close to him and just rears up on its back legs. Just like, that's you. Tom, your turn.
We're gonna go ahead. Make our way. Let's see. Oh,
Yes, as you get down there, you see the Verbeeg in that room.
I see. I forget. Is there a 10-foot or a 5-foot space on the opposite side of this room? Anyway, 30 feet gets me in here.
Yes.
Which means I have to dash. From 1 to 3, 4, 5, 6. That gets me to here.
Okay. Dash into there. Check. Right. So, Mockingbird, your turn. What'd you do?
Okay. Yeah. So I am just gonna keep on going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then with my daggers out, I guess I'm the only one to make it here, so I'm just going no holds barred into the sheep pen. So that's a dash. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and 6.
Just vault
And
over.
vault over it, and yep, I am going to. Well, that's my bonus action, and yeah, that's my bonus action to dash as a rouge. So I still have my action. So I am going to put my knife around one of the sheeps, And can you remind me as to one of their names, or two of their names? Mockingbird would remember, Carl does not.
Yep, that's okay. I mean, come on. Actually, I'll let you roll the d6.
Alright.
Poor Meryl Sheep.
Five.
5? Okay. You grab hold of Roberta. And you can see this, don't worry, you don't have to remind yourself because they all have name tags. Little name tags around their collars.
Alright, then unfortunately I'm going to put the knife up to Roberta and cut slightly. Just enough so that it cries out, but not enough to really injure it. And then I'll shout towards the Verbeek. Keep your people back. Come and speak, or Roberta and the rest of your flock gets it.
There's this plenty of as this knife is threatening poor Roberta's life. Now, the Verbeek, he can see you from where he is, right? So the Verbeek is looking towards where he saw Tuln and Garrow go, and across to where Yogobor, not Yogi Bear, Yogobor, is roaring angrily at something. And he's like,
What's going on?
and Mame, it's your turn. Allergy to mortal danger.
I, just hearing where my companion's voice is coming from, decide to go over there. So where is the tree?
You heard to the east. Okay, to the east you heard the Verbeek's voice as well, like bellowing in that central chamber that you ran through.
Do you? I'm just gonna move manually.
Yep, no problem.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
As you run
Oh fuck.
straight into the Verbeek. You just like she just like swipes you. You see he's got a huge spell.
Oh fuck. Okay, I should have. Okay. God damn it! I don't know what to do. So I was counting like 6. Okay, that's all my movement. I'm gonna 7. Mashing down. That's 7. Do I still move? Can I still move, or is he gonna hit me? Oh, he's gonna get an opportunity attack, but I'm still gonna run. So 7, 8, 9.
Through his space. Okay, I'm gonna need a dexterity check to see if you can get through his space, because he is like commanding that space there. I mean, as you ran past, you saw Tuln to the south of you as well, right?
Okay.
Yeah, do you remember?
Where's my dex?
If I just show you this, Sabrina, I mean, you're welcome to go to do this as well. But as you got to here, remember, you saw Tuln here to the south.
Okay.
Right, Tuln is right there.
Okay.
Tuln friend.
I'll go with.
Hey, friend.
I'm gonna go with my friend Tom. I'm gonna go with my friend Tom.
Now,
Okay, I'm done.
You did skid to a halt right in front of the Verbeek, so he is going to get an attack of opportunity there. So he just lashes out to you with his spear. It's a 23, that hits, I assume.
Yes, it does.
And that is 11 piercing damage.
Zoinks.
Yowzers.
So yeah, you skid to a halt, like flapping your wings, yeah, and then just lashes at you, cuts a nasty gash across you with the spear as you flutter back and dive into that tunnel with Tom there. And it's his turn. Oh, I think. Yeah, having seen you like run away, I think he's more worried about the livestock. So he's gonna be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He just comes roaring towards you. He pulls up short, Mockingbird, as he's like charging into that other room, and he sees you like holding the knife, and he's like,
Oh, I'm gonna gut you. No, no. What are you doing? What are you doing? You get away from Roberta.
Can I talk, or is that on my turn?
We'll go around, yeah, but that's
Okay.
He pulls up short. He doesn't attack you.
Okay.
And at that point, you just hear.
Friends.
1, 2, 3, 6, 8. And Mockingbird, you see the ogre just come shambling around, this huge figure just in this bloody loincloth with this huge club with bits of metal and hair kind of embedded in it, also covered in blood. And you think you may have found the militia's killer. This ogre's just like.
I'm probably less worried for the militia, but I think I can piece that together. Darn. Okay. Good.
Now, that's a good point actually, because at that same point, as the ogre just comes barreling out of that corridor there, beyond it, despite all the roars and the different sounds going on here, Mockingbird, you also hear a familiar female voice shout out, "Help!"
Familiar female voice.
Yes, it is the voice of a trapper. It's Cecilia Whitebuckle, who's been missing. You may have found where she ended up.
Okay. Well, I will respond to all this on my turn, and in the meantime.
Okay, thank you, Soundscape. It's realistic. Livestock noises. Okay, so you, that happens there. Friend comes barreling around there. It is Garrow's turn. Garrow, who is blind, basically, just cannot see where they're going. Just puts one hand on the wall. They're like, they're kind of feeling their way towards you, Mockingbird. They kind of get to here, and you just hear like, oh, my goodness, now I can see. And they come into the side of the bonfire lights there again. And at that point, Yogobor, having got the sense of fresh chicken, is gonna come barreling out of here. And knowing that those corridors are too narrow, it's coming. It seems to have gone. You hear it splashing, Mame. It goes splashing to the south down with that frozen stream. So it's going down to the south. It seems like going back outside. Tom, your turn.
Tone will. Tone will. Come back up here. Heal Mame. That looks like it hurt.
Mame, do you want to do your hit points yet? You're just 11 now, right?
I'm actually. Oh, I didn't fix that yet.
Yeah, that's okay. Just we got fancy stuff going on here, so it updates automatically on the stream for the folks watching as well.
And do I just like put my total hit points right there?
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Oh, I thought I was getting them ones out of the way. I was incorrect after all.
Wow.
So the aerosol can that is my healing spray, it just kind of like. Okay, maybe next time. I think I still have some left, but I have other stuff I need to do.
So that's full healing.
Yeah.
I do damage.
On your character sheet, go to just the left of your hit points. Just type in 4 in the box to the left, and then click heal. Should put you back up to 11.
And Toln
So
will
squishy little level 2s.
Toln will move back towards the top.
Okey doke. Okay, I see. Yeah, you're going back that way. Indeed. Okay, thank you. So, moving on. Who's next? Mockingbirds. Your turn.
Okay. So, I will put the knife a little bit more firmly against the sheep
Yes.
and say, one more step, and I promise you half this flock will be dead. You can swing by. Do you want to sample, or do you want to talk?
Nice. Okay, I need. Okay, I need an intimidation check. Please.
Finally, something good at.
I should not have said that. Okay. That's a very dangerous thing to say.
Oh yes, it was, but I'm feeling it right now. I'm feeling it. My first official hostage situation in D&D. I'm
That
loving
is,
it.
is a 17, and I can tell you, with the level of dear love that the Verbeek has for these beasts, the DC for that intimidation check was 10. So you shout that out, and Doug is immediately just like, his club goes down to the ground and he's just like,
No, no. Whatever you do, don't touch them.
And as a sign of cooperation, I will, still holding up firmly onto the sheep, take the knife away.
okay. And likewise, he gestures over towards the ogre, and he's like,
Friend, stop.
and the ogre's just like,
Friend, stop.
sits down on his haunches in interest.
Right? No need for any rash movements here.
Agreed. Thank you for seeing it my way.
Anything else on your turn?
No, except I want to know the situation of the pen. Is it's opened or closed, or I assume it was closed when I called it.
Yeah, it's close enough. It's close enough.
Okay, yeah. Apart from more conversation, there's no direct action that I guess.
Yeah, well, that's the main thing you've done. You've stopped.
Yeah.
You've stopped that. Now, Mummy, your turn.
Use this time to just like feeling a bit better, but still like not really well. I cast Gooseberry, and berries are in the palm of my feathers, and I eat one. Can I eat one during one turn?
Yeah, that's fine.
Then I eat one and heal one.
Blessed hit points.
Them berries are pretty good.
And I put the rest of the 9 in. Take out my longbow, and that's all I do.
Sorry,
nope.
sorry, Mummy. Casting the spell is your action, and also eating one is your action.
Okay, so then I'll take that. I'll just summon the berries and be like, I can't wait to eat this, and end my turn.
You're staying in the corridor then. Any movement? You're just staying there.
I will move 1, 2, that way.
Okay. Right. Now. It's the Verbeek's turn. He's like,
Now, an agreement here. Why are you here? What do you want?
and you see him turn around, he's like,
Yogabor! Down!
it seems like the bear also chills out.
Can I respond, or is that on my turn?
You know, speaking could be out of turn as well, that's fine.
Okay. We don't have an agreement. We have an understanding. We
He's
want
like-
the
his
barrels.
Brow furrows. He's like, oh, okay.
We want the barrels that you took from the town. And the trapper. We're willing to forgive the militia that you killed. If you give us the barrels and the trapper, we will spare your flock and leave. I think that's a reasonable agreement. Otherwise, this will end very, very badly.
The drink. It's a present.
You typically do not steal presents or kill for presents.
I still want.
And I kill whatever livestock I want.
But Gag's gonna be here any minute. Should be expecting a present. What am I gonna do? She's gonna be angry. She's horrid when she's angry.
Who's Gag?
The missus.
Your missus? Your wife?
Yeah.
A Verby?
Yeah. What, are you saying I could have a wife? So I'm not
No.
a catch?
You're rather a strapping young man.
Yeah.
But I think maybe she would understand that the life of your flock is not worth the price of 3 barrels. There are better gifts to give. How about this? And I'll pull out the pendant that I found on Sepic's corpse.
Give me a persuasion check with advantage.
I think I did that twice. That is... Oh, I somehow hit that 3 times, so that's 17 and 14.
No, the first one's the intimidation from before. 14 and
Oh,
20.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
20. So
Yeah.
natural 20 then.
Total is 20.
Dirty.
Yeah.
His eyes just like go wide, and there's like the firelight just sparkling. And
Gimme.
he comes like crouching over, just like skirting around the flames there.
And I sort of yoink the sheep back a little bit. First, the barrels, and the trapper.
Let me see.
Let me see what. Is he...
He's gesturing towards the pendant. He's like, just hold it up for him to see.
Snatch it back really quick.
Yeah.
And with the dagger in my hand, motion a little bit more gesturing towards the sheep. First, the trapper, and the sheep. And I'll put the blade just gently on the sheep's neck again.
I suppose if I get the shiny thing, and at least dinner's ready.
Like for the first time, you like look at the bonfire properly, and there's a spit over it, and you can see going round on the spit is a vaguely humanoid, if diminutive, body. And think back to the missing logger, this merchant, back in Goodmead. I think you might have found Shanda Froth's friend as well. The two heads, right?
Yeah.
And you... He goes to the north, and I'm going to move the tokens around. He shambles to the north around the firelight, looking back angrily over his shoulder at you. And he's like,
Friend, move.
and then actually as he's going by, he like grabs Yoga by the head and like, goes like face to face with him. He's like,
If he kills any sheep, any goats, kill him. Kill all of them. Friend.
Yoga comes over, like stands next to the fire, flames just flickering, reflecting off his giant form. And he's just like glaring at you, watching you. And
Hello, friend.
and then the Verbeek has gone off round that where the ogre appeared from. You hear him, no, get off me! It's like, now, you're leaving. You're taking this back to your stinking hovel of a town. Alright. Not so rough. And you see kind of like stumbling out from there, you see the trapper. You force that bear trap off. Her eyes go wide as she sees you. It's Cecilia Whitebuckle. Her eyes go wide as she sees you. Mockingbird! What are you doing here?
Saving you, apparently. Now, let's try to get through this.
Yeah. She comes running over to you, like taking a wide berth around the ogre. And he's just like doesn't make a move.
At this point, would the others be here, or are we still in combat?
I think we've left initiative now. So the others, what do you want to do? I think Garo appears up from that bottom area.
Tolan was going to sneak around and just take the barrels, but though it seems it won't be necessary anymore.
Okay.
And
like a
I'll
bill.
just
Come out.
So you emerge from that cavern mouth as well. And are you following Tom?
yes. I can see now.
Tolan looks at the stick disgustedly.
Oh.
Yes. And as you all come into this chamber, the ogre's.
It's okay, friend. They're my friends. Why don't we come over to this side of the room, give them a wide berth, and I'll kind of motion towards like the cart.
And actually behind you, Mame, this hulking cave bear also comes and sits down, like eyeing you all. But he's following the Verbeek's orders and is not attacking. Just like goes
During
down
this
and
time,
stretches. Yes.
I'm gonna be eating a berry.
Yes. Now you may.
Berries.
Indeed. Can you get multiple? You can do that multiple times.
I'm not sure, because I can summon 10 berries at once. But each berry, the consumption takes 1 action each.
Yeah.
Believe.
Yeah, so I don't see why not. Yeah, I mean, it's like an action is just 6 seconds, so you just like nom. You're like the just the meme of the the popcorn eating. You're just like watching good berries instead. The popcorn. Okay, now.
I'll be eating 7 good berries.
Okay. So, let me align this properly. So, Doug, which is the other Verbeek, comes back out of that corridor after Cecilia's come out, and he's carrying 2 barrels, one under each arm. He's like, now, this is unavoidable. There's nothing to be done here. But a friend and I drank one of them already.
Does any remain, or is it all gone?
Just these two. These 2 are full. We haven't touched them.
Insight check.
Please.
Yeah.
$19.
Okay. Yeah, he's 273.
Son of
Yeah. Well, it's unfortunate, but we'll take
how
what
we
can
gonna
get,
make
I guess.
how are we gonna make this right then?
No, look. You said you wanted the mead I had. This is the mead I have.
We wanted the mead you stole.
Look.
When friend is sick, it's not a pretty sight, but do you want me to put it back in the barrel?
How about you swear never to go into the town again under these circumstances? If you disobey this, we know where your flock lives. Avoid the town. Stick to the roads if you have to. But you leave the mead alone. And you leave the town alone.
Taking caravans has always been good up until now. But there's less on the roads. All you puny little ones are scared of the cold.
We all have to make ends meet.
Garo gets kind of a wry smile across her face. She's like, I know a caravan that's gonna be on the road soon.
I'll smile as well.
Doug, if you hang out by the road between Goodmead and the next one to the south there, Dugan's Hole, I think before too long there's going to be a couple of sleds come sliding by. They've got some stuff to see.
Some very good stuff. They're traders.
Like,
Ah, okay. Yeah, trading information. Alright.
So, do we have a deal here? Great. And I'll put my knife away and kind of hop over the fence.
now,
Go towards the others.
what are you going to do with these two large barrels?
Presumably start rolling them. I mean, we've got 5 people here, right?
True.
Can we use the cart? That's the cage. Anyway.
Let's see, how much do they weigh? Hang on. Yeah, each full cask is 200 pounds.
Might have to make like a
20-gallon
sled outside.
barrels. Yes, no, you have proficient in making sleds. You already made one for a corpse
It's true.
Okay.
I have indeed done that.
the previous day. So, I think, and I think Doug will be like,
Take this. It's busted.
and he kind of gestures towards the wagon.
Appreciate it.
Tom will
Thank you very
look
much.
at it. Is it easily fixable?
Give me a, let's see, what would it be? Give me a tinker's tool.
Tinker's tool check?
Yeah,
Alright.
so that'll be your,
17.
The
okay.
street ends.
So yeah, you think if you take off the remaining wheels, you know, one of them's already broken and gone. If you take off the remaining wheels and fix some kind of, you know, like branches or something underneath, okay? Or you know, some kind of runners. You think you could, given a short amount of time, nothing crazy, you could get it sorted and sliding.
Ah, this should be no problem. This will be no problem. I'll take care of this. Let's get it outside.
So you start, doing that, and Doug begrudgingly helps. I think, like Garo just stays there by the sheep pen, just with their blades drawn, just to make sure that nothing goes wrong, and that no change to the agreement, and you get the barrels loaded up. And Tom, you start fixing up this wagon so that it becomes a sled instead. Now, as you're doing this, after a short time, you hear a
God. Oh no.
and he starts like jumping up. He's like, ooh, Gag's here. And actually, I have a picture for you of the
Let's see the happy color.
fair maiden as she approaches.
My anticipation is growing.
I'm still freaked out by the human on the spike. I'm just like,
Yeah, you quickly make yourself, useful to Tolm outside. Get away from that.
yeah.
And sorry, I'm trying to find where it is. And yes, you are getting there, and then the Mrs. The aforementioned Mrs. does appear, and I'm sorry, it doesn't have the art in the text itself. I'll send it to you later.
Okay.
I should show you
Sure.
the fair gag later on. I'm sorry. But she comes plowing through the snow as you're going, and she's like and she looks like aggressive momentarily as she sees you all there, and you see this verb being just striding through and approaching the mouth of the cave, and her face bears a too wide smile. She clutches a spear in one hand, and using her other arm, she's cradling a wicker basket. It's filled with bits of shiny metal. She's like, Doug, you home? He's like, yes, Doug, hello. And he comes like bounding out of the cave, and she's like, look, I got you a present. He's like, oh, what is it? And Tom, you're also kind of fascinated. You see these bits of metal and stuff, but it's not like normal tools or anything that you've seen. It's very weird shapes, strange kind of almost kind of machinery looking parts. But you've never seen machinery like that. You've heard about that kind of thing down in Lantern. But it looks like, I mean, it's busted, it's completely destroyed and wrecked, but it looks like it was part of some device that you have never seen the like of in 10 towns. Even up in the Dwarven Valley, up in the mining holes up there.
Well, that's interesting.
And Doug's like, no, my present, it's mine.
I just want to see it.
He might be able to tell you what it is.
It's shiny. I know what it is.
But some shiny things, I think you know, are much more valuable than others. You can use certain shiny things.
Alright, look, but don't touch.
Alright, no touch.
Yeah,
Don't
that
need to touch.
holds the basket out towards you, and you go over and you look at the metal and stuff for a while. And it's got a strange, almost kind of organic shape to it. And more than anything else, after you spend a short time looking at this metal, this is not any metal that you have ever seen. Gag's like, yeah, I found it. Found it up in the mountains.
In the mountains, you said. Where in the mountains? Tolan pulls out like a small map he's drawn of the surrounding area. His proficient cartographer's supplies.
She points. Yeah, she points basically due south, but just a little to the west as well.
Thank you. My missus will be quite pleased when I give her a gift as well.
And yeah, you do see that. And after a while, Doug and Gag go inside, and you hear friend. You know, Gag saying, "Oh, hello, friend." Friend. Happy to see Gag as well. And the bear, you just hear the bear like crumbling around. And then you finally get the sled finished. The 2 barrels loaded up. You're gonna head back towards town.
Well, before we leave, I will thank Doug and Gag and small sort of bow and say thank you for working with us. If we see each other again, let's make it productive.
If any of my little darlings get killed, deal's off.
They will not be killed by my hands. You're a very smart man and a very polite one. We've worked very well together. Thank you.
And Gag's like,
Yeah, he's lovely, isn't he?
Very good man you have here. And I'll just kind of bow again and then turn around.
and the 2 of them are like stood there in the cave mouth, like watching you go. Like Doug, like scowling, making sure you're leaving, and Gag just not knowing what happened. She's just like, bye. And you make your way slowly. It's not easy, but you make your way slowly back towards Goodmead with the rescued trapper, most importantly, I would say, but also the 2 barrels of mead.
As soon as we're out of sight of the 2 giants, Mockingbird will probably pull to the side and just vomit from the sheer stress of the situation that he's just been in. Nothing before that high stakes or anything like that. Just clean up and just keep walking. Without saying a word.
Yes, that was just one of those lovely situations where the dice decides if it goes well or horribly wrong.
The
In the back of
overlander.
Mama's mind, it was like, Mama is just like looking at her slash, just like, I will get revenge one day, says silently under her breath, and then continues walking.
Tolan shows the map and says, yes, I agree. Kill later.
Okay. Cecilia comes over to you, Mockingbird. She's like, thank you so much. I don't know what I was going to do. I think I was the dessert.
Judging from the main course, that's safe to assume. We're just lucky we got to you in time.
Well, I guess I should be glad I look tasty. You should have seen what happened to the militia.
We saw.
Oh. I'll come like midday tomorrow when when it's a bit lighter. I'll get a bunch of the lads and some of the folks from town, and we'll come get the militia bodies. We'll see that they're properly buried.
And just sort of nod, not respond. So, Gato, how do you feel about the whole situation?
Well, I'm just glad we didn't get in a fight with those big bastards.
Really? Seems like something you would rather enjoy.
I know my limits. I don't think I'm more the crag cat killer kind.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Although-
Seems like in the future we might get another chance.
Hey, I'll be here. But what do y'all fancy doing though? After we get back to town, of course. Help them celebrate the return of some of this meat?
Yeah, I'm afraid that since one of the barrels is gone, perhaps they'll just have to sell the rest.
Oh. Well, there's plenty more where this came from in the meat hall, huh?
Yeah, I could tie one on. Feel like we deserve it.
Just a quick aside for Abby when she's watching this VOD later. I'm sorry.
Well, I think I have some of my reserve left. What did I have left? Ah, the huntsman honey. Yes, there's some of that left. We can have some when we get back.
Where do you keep this in your body? Is it...
It's not... Do you think I've been...
Yeah.
vomiting all of this beer?
No, I thought it was like coming out of a finger or something.
No.
You know, like some portable
No.
dispensary.
I get up and I leave and I get it like a normal, like
You said I still have some. Are you just
yes,
carrying
I
around
have
like a
some
keg
as
with you?
like the concept of
You meant back in
ownership.
town.
Really? Interesting. As an artificer who's like just Bender-esque, I always just assumed you had it in you.
You know, were I not the only robot thing I know, I would accuse you of being somewhat racist. But I suppose it's a understandable confusion.
I mean, you have so many other attachments. It's not that far beyond the realm of reason.
Carl, don't you ever take that mouth around Eberron way, you get in trouble.
Fair enough.
Now, so yeah, it's a long and arduous trek back to good meat. But after a lengthy haul, you emerge from the trees where you first met that other trapper with the fox on his back. And you do see the faint flickering lights of the lanterns of good meat. A welcome sight as you come back down into town itself.
Oh, about what time of day is it by now? After all this.
Like evening, because it was a long walk, if you remember. It was a few hours. It was a good, it was about 6 hours or so, out. So.
And does it look like the militia are still patrolling around, or does
yeah.
there seem to be any life in the mead hall, or are people still held out?
No, people are moving around in the streets,
Okay.
bundled up as usual.
Well, my friends, I'll get you some of my reserve, but I had a crazy idea. So I'm gonna work on that for tonight, I think.
Suit yourself. We'll be in the mead hall, and I'll look to the other two.
But let me get you some of my specialty.
Okay. So I think, yeah, the three of us are going to the meat hall then. Or
Good.
4 of us at the start.
Yeah.
First everyone goes.
Or-
So you come back into town, and the militia first, and then a few folks that are out and about realize what you've done, and you're welcome back. Just as joyously. Everyone's like, "Oh, welcome back! Oh, you got the stuff! Cecilia, you're alive!" And there's this general jubilation that you've come back. And the loss of one of the barrels is a shame, but 2/3 returned is a nice amount, and everyone's very happy. Now, Garrow is hailed by someone that he's met, and a middle-aged woman that you've seen him speaking to in the mead hall. approaches and removes her thick wool scarf that she can speak clearly. And she says to the rest of you, as she hasn't met you properly yet, she's like, my name's Olivessa. I make the casks for the mead, and Tom, you know who this is when you see her unwrap her the scarf. And you've met her around. She makes all the casks for the
mead,
for the drink, yeah. And she's like, look, come inside. Let's get out. Let's get out of this cult. And you make your way back to the mead hall. And you're ushered inside, and you get inside. And there's a large group of people in the mead hall there. And there's everyone's just very happy that you're back. And there's much rejoicing that the mead has been returned. Thank you. And you are given free drinks for the night and free food, whatever's on the go. It is roasted meat of some kind. Are we okay? Not turned off for a short while?
I am not eating.
No, you good? Okay.
Nor does Tom, as it happens.
Well, yes, that was.
I'm just
Forgiven.
I've eaten a lot of berries today, so I'm very nutritionally supplied at the moment.
True. Okay, so yeah, you sit down, and this woman that led you in and came in with you, she leads you to a table and sits you down there with herself, and she's like, look, we can't thank you enough for what you've done. We need to sell this stock and get it shipped off once it's been changed into your ice brew, Tom. But it's not the only pressing thing in town at the moment. As you know, unfortunately, and she looks sadly to Garrow, knowing that they were drinking buddies over the past few days. The speaker was killed by that Verbeeg when they raided the town, and it's left a bit of a power vacuum, hasn't it? And well, the main choice at the moment is that logger, Shanda Froth. He's a rough one around the edges, and he speaks his mind a bit more straight than many would like. And a bit of a bully and a blowhard, to be honest, but there's nothing he wouldn't do for his friends, and he's very popular amongst the loggers around these parts. But well, there's a bunch of friends of mine who don't want him to be speaker. There's just something about him, they say. He seems untrustworthy, and I can't say that I know him that well, but well, my friends have urged me to run against him, but I've no interest in the speakership. I don't want to be in charge. I'm just a barrel maker. Coopering's enough for me, and I don't want to be in charge. It's not for me. Now, and she rounds on you, Tom. Now, Tom, you spent a great time of the past recent months here, and you're almost as well liked as that logger, Shanda Throth. People listen to you. People respect you for what you did for the mead. You've revolutionized the brew. It's selling better than it ever did before. Now, I have no interest in being speaker, but you could.
Speaker of good mead?
And Garrow punches you in the arm. He's like, moving on up.
It's quite the title.
I had never considered becoming speaker of good mead, but he thinks for a moment.
If I tell your friends, if I tell my friends that you're running, and that I'm not gonna. They'll all be behind you. I can guarantee that.
Talon looks at his new friends that he's gone out adventuring with. I've got nothing. Okay. Sounds good to me.
This doesn't require you to live permanently in Goodmead, does it?
Well, I mean, the speaker's house would be yours, but I mean, not you're free to leave if you have business elsewhere. I mean, just keep doing what you're doing, and the mead production and stuff looks after itself. The bees are all little happy, buzzy little fellas. They're just going around the spot, and I mean, the loggers might be a bit vexed that their choice wasn't made speaker, but I can't see it being a big problem.
After tonight, I don't think there will be that much competition.
Right? Everyone likes a hero.
I'll buy Shander some beer, and then he'll be happy.
Maybe. Well, okay. Thank you. I'm so glad. I don't have to. I'm going to tell everyone right away. And she bustles off, and you see she huddles up with some cronies over in the corner, and they see them looking over towards you, and one of them's like making thumbs up.
I'll just pat Tolan on the back. So what's your slogan going to be?
More beer.
I think you've won already, friend.
It goes against the mead producing side of town.
My mistake. More mead.
There we go. Alliteration too.
You'll catch on quick in these parts. Congratulations.
Unfortunately, Chanda Throth had gone with the alliteration too much, and he was like, more mead, maybe? So, you've got him beat, sorry.
Or less mead, maybe.
God damn it, if I hadn't done the maybe. So,
More mead and mulch. Maybe the mulch is too much.
Mead and malt?
Too much.
It's a byproduct sometimes of logging. You get all the...
Garo turns to you, Mami, and he's like, Mami, you seemed awful interested in the tomb there for a while, and beyond the discovery of the items. But, what fluffed your feathers?
Something before I came here. Something I saw in the cave.
There's a
It's very
cave
familiar.
in Dugan's Hole? I haven't been up there yet.
Oh, no, I mean, like, past experience nearby, on my way to Dugan's Hole from down south up here, just, Hey, Tolan, do you still have those artifacts? Have you investigated them?
I mean, I was literally walking this whole time.
Just holding it.
Oh.
No? Right, I can try to identify it with like a detect magic and like an arcane, right?
No, because identify is a specific spell.
Right. Isn't there a way to do that without identifying?
I don't believe so. I think you have to have it identified by someone if you don't have the spell.
I mean, I can just learn. I can prepare identify and cast a ritual if it's
or you can attune to it, and you'll figure out what it does then.
Oh,
Then I'll hold the pearl, you'll hold the wand.
give me a moment.
Mockingbird has the pearl at the moment.
He gave.
I gave it to Tolan.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me. So yes.
Will you be holding one?
Okay. So yeah, you both.
Yeah, I'll take care.
You both keep those, and while you're having your dinner and relaxing and being generally congratulated by people, you can have a short rest, which is enough to attune to these items. And Mame, that pearl is a pearl of power. And when the person attuned to it speaks the command word, they can regain an expended spell slot.
Oh,
Berries for me.
Okay. And Tom, yours is a +1 Wand of the War Mage. So
Sick.
it gives you a bonus to spell spell. Oh, good lord. Thank you. Thank you, Colby. I know that name. Ladies and gentlemen, sorry, I try not to interrupt the stream with stuff and just respond in chat, but I do have to take a second there for our dearest burb. Our dearest burb on Thursday and Friday nights in Curse of Strahd and Descent into Avernus as our first ever subscriber. Thank you, Colby. My first ever full-on subscriber. Cheers, man. You can use that Hype Phoenix now. Hype Phoenix, Hype Phoenix.
Welcome, friend.
Thank you, mate. Okay, so you, yes, you find these 2 items, so you are attuned to those now. Now, I think Tuln is the major spellcaster here, right?
I think I'm the.
Mami to an extent, but not yet, right? No
What did the wand do again? It was
It's +1.
War Mage?
Yeah, sorry, I got distracted. I got distracted.
Stores
by
as
that, but,
spells.
it's +1. +1 to spell attacks. And you can ignore half cover when you're making a spell attack.
Wow.
So yeah, pretty nifty. Pretty
Hold
nifty.
on, I think you should be the one using this spell since you have more spells than I. I hand over the pearl. Maybe you should attune to this as well.
Okay. He like looks at it and then looks at like the spot where his his aerosol healing to be. Ah. This might work. Yeah, this will go great.
Nice. Okay.
No
so yeah,
compatibility issues.
It'll be fine.
we shall see. Yes. Okay. It's like me every time I turn on Discord. It's like update installing. Like as Toln rests tonight, you just see a little status bar. Okay. So, anything else that you would like to do before
So,
you head to
where
bed?
do we see ourselves going next? Check out the mountains?
Well, I guess I'm gonna be speaker, so I need to figure out the situation, and then after that, I suggest that we do check out these mountains in the south.
Garrow's like, wouldn't be slightly worried by the lack of traffic from Dugan's Hall?
That's
Yeah,
what
that-
I've been wondering the past few days.
We might want to check that out. That is a good point.
Indeed.
Yeah.
No one has come after me, but I've been the last visitor from there.
What's that place like, Mummy?
Oh my. Very small. There's a triangular. It's a triangular settlement with stones that reminds me of. Goddamn. Of. What's Abby's character's name?
Garrow.
Girl. Very small village. I huddled with them in the warmth. Like, huddled for warmth. And we had to sacrifice to eat. Really nice people. Taught me a lot about fishing.
Was there anything odd going on at Dugan's Hall or anything strange that you saw? We've only been in this town for a few odd days, maybe a week, and already it's quite high octane.
I don't really remember.
What were those stones you said?
The stones, they were. Spirit. That's didn't get killed before. Mama flips through her notes, like trying to jot her memory of her expeditions.
Nice.
Yeah, I did that.
I can tell you that one if you want.
Yes, please.
Okay. The stones were called the Stones of Thrune. And they were in a triangular, kind of rough triangular pattern with a central one in the middle. So, do you say that?
So, I remember the Stones of Thrune. I investigated them, but I didn't find anything particularly interesting about them, even though it
And
seems like they're.
as you say that, Garrow just like spits out a bunch of meat. say that name again.
Stones of Thrune.
Thrune. And a triangle with a
Yeah,
central one.
Yeah, it's like stones with a central like stone in the middle.
And he's
triangle.
like, and he just like pulls his like neck down like this and shows the tattoo that goes across the lower neck and onto the shoulder. And it's the same shape with embellishments.
It's exactly like that.
Now,
Are you from?
I don't really know what that's all about, but I've heard that name. I've heard that name in dreams. Dreams with this pattern. Just a deep, booming voice. Just Thrune. What does it mean? What were the stones for? What did the local people say?
They just said that it was made before they settled there, and they've been there for a while. But I didn't. When I investigated the stones, like I found nothing. Why?
I'd be right interested to find out what the connection is with this. And a group of traveling orcs. Because that's where I got this. I found their leader in a right pickle. And I saved him. I met some good orcs in my time. And in thanks, their shaman gave me this. And I don't know. They never came down this way. They've never been to Dugan's Hole. They never mentioned the place, but if there's a connection there, I want to find out what it is.
Well, perhaps we can make a trip to Dugan's Hole before we head to the mountains after Tolan becomes speaker. Should we investigate?
That sounds good. I don't know how long the ascension to speak will last, but I can't imagine in a town of this size it'll take that long. Might as well finish up the ceremony or whatever it is they have here and then head on over. Figure out what Thrune is.
Now, as you're spending time in the meat hall, you're kind of talking to people, right? Mixing with folks there as they come and congratulate you and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tolan's working on this bottle-like thing.
I'm also keeping my eye out for a Torga.
Okay. They apparently were. If you ask about them, they were apparently in earlier, but they did not stay. They just like grabbed food and left. So they've gone off back to their quarters, that house that they were staying in.
Then I'll kind of say good night to my companions and the people in the hall, and then go head over there.
Okay. So you head out into the streets. You're bundled up in your furs, as is necessary, and trudge through the snow, heading towards that house. Just give a knock on the door.
Yeah.
Okay. Stats. And the door creaks open away.
Yes?
I wish to speak with Torga.
Someone wants to speak to you, boss. Alright, I'll be there.
You're clumping of boots across the floorboards inside.
All right, I'll take a couple steps back so we're, when they come out, I'm
Yeah.
like a healthy distance from the door.
What is it?
It's, we need to have a conversation very quickly.
About what? Who are you?
I'll just reveal the hood that I've got on.
I've seen you around town.
My name's Mockingbird. I felt
Torga.
you might want a quick warning.
What's that?
Seems that, you understand the commotion that happened last night,
Aye.
and it would seem that a Verbeeg and some others are on the outskirts of town.
Now we tell.
We managed to take back the barrels, but I figured you might like a warning.
What's that?
When you leave, when the next round of caravans go in and out, it's very likely that you will be attacked by them.
Is that so?
It is.
Well, we're shipping off to Dugan's Hall tomorrow.
Tomorrow to Dugan's Hall.
Aye. We're done here. We've sold a few bits and bobs, but one of my crew seems to have seen fit to desert his post. He's bugging off somewhere.
In the middle of Goodmead. Just left, abandoned.
That one was, let's see, he had a calling. I was happy to travel with him, but he seems to have gone off to do his own thing.
Well, I hope he survived cold.
He'll be fine.
Okay. Well, in that case, we ourselves, the four of us, will likely be over in Dugan's Hall in the next couple of days. So we might see you there. Just keep
hope so.
an eye out on the roads. I felt like you might like to have that knowledge.
Well, we're always careful when you're this close to the mountains.
Right. Okay. And I'm going to call it a night.
Aye.
Just nod.
Go back to that house that you've been using?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you make your way back there. Tom and Mame, anything else you'd like to do before you call it a night?
No, I'm just working on my infusions.
Okay. Mame?
I'm just gonna find a place to rest and heal after the slash that I got and plot my revenge.
Okay. Well, as you're resting in the mead hall and people are coming by and, the various conversations, and you just kind of, Mame, as you're kind of resting there, you're just kind of, closing your eyes and just listening to what's going on, listening to the general slightly drunken chit-chat of the locals of Goodmead. Most of it's, celebratory and happy with you guys for having dealt with the problem. And especially after you've said that they promised never to come to the town again, and that seems to have put them at ease to a great extent. They were slightly disappointed they weren't being killed and dealt with permanently, but they seem content in the way that it's worked out. You also hear a few kind of rumours that have gone and have come around town. It seems like Torga's group, when they were in the mead hall over last night and earlier tonight, seemed to have brought some news from out of town. And you hear a couple of strange tales of things going on around Tent House. First, up at Caer Connig. Let me bring you over to the Icewind Dale map while we're waiting on this. Oop. Okay. Let's just get the towns in view here for the stream. So yes, up at Caer Connig, which is the furthest town to the northeast, up past East Haven and Caer Dinaval. you've heard tell that various establishments there have been attacked by vandals and thieves that are skulking about unseen. The town speaker there is a dragonborn called Trovus, and apparently he's after some help, trying to find these thieves that are invisibly stalking around town, so the rumours are going. And one more thing. Let's see here. Yes, over in Targos, over past the main city of Bryn Shander, there towards the west. All the way over there in Targos, you hear about talk of a band of adventurers that's planning an expedition to go up the side of Kelvin's Cairn. Now, Kelvin's Cairn is the large mountain up above the Dwarven Valley there in the north of Icendale. It's just a very singular peak that just juts up out of the ice and snow and dominates the skyline when you're travelling around the area on a good day when you can see that far. And this group of adventurers is planning an expedition up the side of the mountain, hoping to find Oyaminatok, which is a Goliath lycanthrope that can transform into a polar bear, it's said. And if you hurry, maybe you'll be able to join with the expedition. So those are a couple of bits of gossip that are going around the mead hall. Okay.
Color me uninterested in the lycanthrope. That seems like an ill-fated adventure if I've ever read.
That sounds fun.
Whichever side of the is changed, you find it's like Goliath or polar bear. Goliath, polar bear, both bad news.
Climb a mountain in winter to find a Goliath lycanthrope. Sounds like a great idea.
As you said last week, I clipped you for the trailer. Nothing will go wrong.
Yeah. Where do you keep your stuff?
So, those are a couple of tidbits that are floating around the mead hall. And eventually, you also follow in Mockingbird's rapidly filling with snow footprints back towards the house that you've been using. I don't think you can quite use the speaker's house yet.
Yet.
Not yet. But you will make your way back up there and start a little fire. Well, Mockingbird's already got a little fire going. You've got your bedrolls out, and you'll lie down for a night's rest. Now, we shall stop there for tonight, save for one thing. Mockingbird.
No.
Tom.
Yeah.
You are both beset by terrible dreams. Roaring flames, wild tribesmen leaping through at you, throwing spears after you as you desperately try to get away. A chieftain's wrath as she sends her slathering, bestial-like tribespeople after you in the anger and fury that you have garnered. And I'm afraid, not that it's a problem right now, I would say, but neither of you benefit from this night's rest. You may not take a long rest. Mummy, you fluffed up in your furs and your feathers. Sleep peacefully. Slight dreams of concern, hoping the people of Dugan's Hole are okay. But otherwise, a lovely night's sleep. And you may take a long rest. And take
I'll
the
do that
benefits
right
of
now.
it, as will Garrow. Sleeping sound. Tom.
I don't need to sleep.
True. But you still dream. in sentry mode, your thoughts wander to other things, kind of sorting through the information of the day, as dreams are said to do.
Okay.
Yeah. And yeah, because Warforged, Frostforged in this case, are still able to be affected by those kind of spells and things that cause those effects. And we shall leave Icewind Dale for this week. But Dugan's Hole awaits. It's just strange as that sounds.
Maybe a Goliath lycanthrope awaits. You never
Maybe
know.
a day Goliath lycanthrope, yes.
Yeah.
He's migrated a long way.
Invisible thieves. Who knows?
Or tribes people.
Vengeful tribespeople. Or, yes. And you will see what happens when we venture back into the towns of Icewind Dale, the 10 towns of Icewind Dale. Thank you everyone for dropping by. Thank you so much for our first subscription and all the follows tonight as well. Thank you so much. I hope everyone enjoyed watching the session. If you enjoyed what you see, do come by for our other campaigns. We have Curse of Strahd on Thursday and Descent into Avernus on Friday. And we will be back in Icewind Dale next Tuesday. Everyone have yourselves a fantastic week. And I shall bid you all oyasumi as we listen to the sounds of Sirenscape. Lovely sound effects and music that have been playing throughout our session here. And we shall see you all next time. Oyasumi nasai. See ya.